Back, everybody. So you are on Team George, and I wanted to talk to you all probably just a few minutes, not very long, but I wanted to share the experience I had a little bit. Well, maybe not too much in this video, probably some future videos. But mainly, I just want to talk about how you are all Team George. And what I mean by that is the event this last weekend, George Magazine Live, I'm sure you know, was really just a bunch of everyday Americans, people that believe in the foundational values of our country, the Christian beliefs, the Bible, everything our country was founded on, and wanting to revive that, literally be people to sort of jumpstart the revival that God has already been doing, and that He's been speaking through all of us in our own little subtle ways, and use George Magazine as sort of one of the main mouthpieces to bring us all together. And even though I already knew a lot about George Magazine and kind of what they stood for, what they represented, and more than anything, their strategy that they're using, but it really, being there really made me appreciate not just that, but how there's things that they're very much in the know about. And again, it was not really, that part wasn't really new information to me. It was just some of the ways that they presented it really brought it home to me. And that's why attending events like these in person is so much more meaningful than just watching from a distance. And so when I talk about, and I'm going to be talking probably for a while, maybe a long time, about how each of you can help be part of this team. Yeah, there's some financial stuff to it because, you know, if you want to support what they're doing, then, and know what they're talking about, then there's going to be some things that you could buy, right? But there's a lot of things I want to say before the possibility of me working with them at some point. And that is something I would not only consider, but I would like to do if that happens at some point. So there's maybe quite a few things I might want to say before that could happen. And I'll explain more about that later, but that's not really the point of this video. So if you guys love Pastor Bob and his music and his ministry, and you're able to support it by getting something in return, like purchasing some of the CDs or Pastor Bob's books, whatever they have available, then I would encourage you to do it because, like I said, you're not only supporting them, but you're getting something in return too. And you already love his music. If you love what Gene Ho has been giving to us via breadcrumbs and whatnot, then hello, he's got a book. And if you love what George Magazine does, I would highly recommend you check out getting one of their subscriptions. They have different options depending on how much you want to spend, different tiers you might call it. And so for a lot of us, that's not a big financial burden to do that. And you are literally helping support this movement. And then I guess the other thing I wanted to say was, what's one of the biggest ways that you can support that has nothing to do with money whatsoever? It's just to share your favorite videos, your favorite posts, whatever it is. Whether it's from me, Gene Ho, George Magazine, Pastor Bob, or anybody else that's sort of connected with this movement. It could be way bigger or outside of that realm too, but if you're passionate about what these people are doing like I am, and you've been connecting the dots and you're seeing how things fall into place, it's not really some big mystery to you anymore, then why not support them? And I'm saying this as I have, I mean, if you buy something from George Magazine or Pastor Bob, I'm not making any money off of it, okay? So that's actually one of the things I wanted to say. There's lots of stuff I want to say and share with you guys before it could get to a point where I'm somehow working with them side by side, because really what I've been doing the last year is I've been working with them with no affiliation, right? Because I love Pastor Bob and his music. And like I said, I love what they've been doing. It's not just that I love it, it's that I've seen the connections. I've connected the dots. I've seen where things are going years in advance, and oh, magically, stuff is happening. And it wasn't because I'm psychic, or it wasn't per se because I had any insider information. It was just discernment. And I know a lot of you are the same way, where you've just been really passionate about where things are headed and want to know what's coming. And you're really gifted at finding the right people. We're all, if you're watching this, we kind of ended up in the same place, right? And so, yeah, it's not magic, and it's not being a psychic. However, there are certain people like, well, Gene Ho and plenty others, but George Magazine was handpicked to help lead this movement. And the easiest way I can verify that is by a certain letter. Am I doing that the right way? Do it the other way. Who posted years in advance that George was going to be at the forefront and leading. And so I have plenty of friends online, and I mean, not just online friends, but real life friends who have been following everything that's going on. And I'm telling them now, hey, you need to pay more attention to George and maybe consider getting their subscription, because the way that they go about sharing what they know is unique, and it's also very informative. Months in advance, years in advance, half a decade in advance, depending on what they're talking about. And so for all of you who I've been trying to help for a long time, many years, in different ways, by finding the best sources, people to follow, things to pay attention to, and what to not pay attention to, the distractions. This is another one of those steps forward where I'm trying to tell you, this is the direction you want to face and pay attention to. It's George Magazine. And now, if you don't have any extra money to afford a subscription to George Magazine, that's fine, because there's a whole lot of free information online. But if you have that money, like I said, and you can get a subscription, not only can you get more info and get it well presented, neatly wrapped in a magazine every month to you, but you're also helping this movement. And as far as the free side of it goes, how you can help too with social media, there's obviously thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of us who are on the same wavelength, right? And we know this by just the amount of views and channels that are out there that are talking about all this stuff. Well, let's say millions, if not billions, right? So don't think of it as, the first thought that comes into mind, the enemy comes in thinking, oh, if I share this to people, they're just going to think I'm crazy or whatever, and nothing's going to happen. Just little old me, right? Why do anything? Well, we all have that thought and feeling in many ways. There are certain topics that I've been talking a lot more about lately, like the shape of the earth, for one. And all of you aren't going to agree with me, or you haven't seen the same information as I have. We're not going to see on the same wavelength, as it were. And that's okay. However, if I was going to suddenly focus on that topic only for the next month, which I'm not going to do, but if I was, there would be a good portion of you that would be like, wow, I understand what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense. And you'd start sharing it to other people. And so the concept here is very simple. It's sort of a pay it forward sort of mindset, where if you are sharing online to 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, and only one or two of those receive the message fully, which this is all God's design. This is not just a patriotic plan thing. It's all God. But if you plant that seed and get one or two people excited, and then they end up doing the same thing, and then more and more, then it just grows. And the main way I want to sort of sell you on this idea is, if you truly want things to unfold and you want us to get to the end of this movie, we need more and more people to see what's happening as it really is. The truth. I can't think of any better reason than us wanting to get to the end of everything, because none of us expected what's happening to go on for this long. The patriots that have been planning it and running operations knew from the beginning, but yeah, we thought 2016, and then we thought 2020, and then kind of that let down as we thought it was, and then 2024. But now in hindsight, so many things are crystal clear. And in reality, good things have been happening the whole time. But we didn't always see that, and we didn't always understand that. So, and just like me, I never planned to be sort of working side by side with George Magazine in any way, whether in official or unofficial capacity, but I am now. Because, like I said, I connected the dots and I saw the importance of not just what people in charge are doing, but what all of us are doing. It truly is grassroots, and it truly is top, bottom, bottom to top. It's all of us, we the people. So, on the lighter note, yeah, I got Gene Ho's new book, Trumpography, and I still got to read it. I'm a lot faster at digesting videos than I am books, but I am going to read it. It's not, am I going to get to a picture? It's not a really long book. There is pictures in there. How many pages you got here, Gene? 160 or so pages, but there's lots of good pictures in there too. Obviously, Gene Ho's a great photographer as well. And pretty big print too. So it's good for anybody, whoever you are. If you got not so great eyes too. How Trumpography, How Biblical Principles Paved the Way to the American Presidency by Gene Ho. So it's a great book just from the little I've read, and I'll share more of my experience with you after I've read it. But I was telling you about on the trip that one of the things I want to do was buy Joyce Unedited, which is, I think it's about 20 tracks, give or take. But this is not online. So the only way you can hear this, or I can hear this, is by playing the CD, old-fashioned style. But I am going to share clips of this for you all. I'm not sure if I'm going to share whole songs for, reasons that maybe Household of Faith are going to want to do that at some point. But I'm going to share some goodies with you that you'll only be able to get here for right now. And oh, we got lots of comments and people. Hi, Elaine, Rita, Dennis, Cynthia, Robin, Loving Mother, Lore, Lonnie. So yeah, hello to you all. It's hard for me to read all the comments right now the way I got my phone set up. So yeah, this video is a little bit of a pitch about George Magazine, Gene Ho, and yeah, Pastor Bob. But it was a great weekend, and like I was saying before on the way back, the live I did at the airport, it didn't change what I believe or think about Pastor Bob or all the people involved whatsoever. So that was nice. Check. That was a nice little discernment, I don't know, encourager that the intuition is still working. It was a great weekend. The service was, of course, the highlight for me, and having Pastor Bob pray for me. I said I was going to confirm his height, and yeah, I would say he's around 6 foot. I didn't have time to like, hey, how tall are you compared to me? And I'm 5'11". But yeah, at the quick glance, while my mind was on 100 other things simultaneously, I would go with that, around 6 foot. And man, I got so many things I want to talk to you guys about. I was making notes on the plane on the way back that I just want to keep this video kind of focused on what I was talking about, because otherwise it's just going to go on and on. So I'll try to keep each video focused on a certain topic. That way I don't bounce around too much. But yes, Cynthia, Pastor Bob is reaching so many people, and he's winning lost souls. He's praying for them, praying for the sick and afflicted, such as me. And yeah, it was powerful. It was definitely powerful. So I'm not sure what else we need to cover in this one. Robin, you had an amazing experience too. That's awesome. So just to give you a little preview, teaser perhaps, of, is it a teaser? Of things I'm going to talk about next. One of those is going to be Dave Blaze and Gene Ho were talking at the event about George Magazine and how they sort of predicted what's to come, meaning in the magazine what was published. They didn't use that word, predicted, but that's going to be one of the videos that I talk about. And if I do it all in one video, it'll be clips from the actual event, so you can hear what they said, and then kind of like my commentary about how what they said made perfect sense to me from connecting the dots with this and other things. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that video this week or in the coming weeks. At first, I thought I would have enough content for the next week or two. In reality, it might be the next month or more, because there's just, so many things that I could take what they said and then tie in things that I've learned and seen and put it all together. So, yeah, God is good. I was blessed by the trip, and all I can say is, if you wish you were there this year, then just start planning on going next year, because I kind of am already myself. But it also just, like I said, the discernment and intuition all coming together the way I hoped it was in going there. I would say my personal takeaway, if there's anything for me, it just really made me want to kind of help bring things together for all of you more. Because, a lot of times we get this information from all these different sources all over the place, over here, over there, and we don't always know what to do with it, because what one person says, it kind of half matches up with what they said, but we don't always know how to put it all together and just feel good about the truth and what it is. So I'm thinking about kind of being a sort of extension of them in that way. And another teaser. Okay, we have like 450 videos about Pastor Bob and EP on our playlist on this channel. I think it's exactly 450 as of the second. That is a whole lot of information, connections, comparisons, coinkydinks, and more. Now, if I wanted to, I could just do nothing but that on this channel, and we'd all be entertained. It would entertain myself, and we'd just have lots of fun talking about Pastor Bob and EP. However, I've been thinking about this before this last weekend at George Live, that there's already so much information there that for all of you that have been here or following along, and you're going to keep following along, we don't need any more convincing. Okay, we think, we're pretty sure. And even if there's the possibility that we're wrong or something isn't quite on the spectrum that we thought it was, it's not going to change until something huge happens. So, because we know that, and we believe what we believe, we've seen what we've seen, thinking ahead about what to do from here is kind of like what I'm saying. How can we go the next step? The next step is to just support Pastor Bob Joyce for the great pastor he is, the great church that he has, that he blesses all of us. If you appreciate what Gene Ho is doing, well, Gene Ho is all about George Magazine. That's what he wants us to support. If you love George Magazine, well, the easiest way to support them is to get their subscription, which doesn't cost too much. I think it's around $20-25 maybe, for a far superior magazine than anything else I've ever seen, really, in many ways. And so what else do you need to know? Do you really need more connections, comparisons? Of course, I'm still going to be sharing music from Pastor Bob. There's probably going to be some comparison videos because it's just fun. And it's just amazing, that whole story there, right? But I'm trying to encourage you all to go the next step in your own way. It doesn't need to be huge, whether it's social media, whether it's getting a subscription, whether, hey, if you still listen to CDs, well, you can buy all of Pastor Bob's music on CD. You can't get all of it electronically from the streaming sites, which is why I needed to get this last missing link of Pastor Bob Joyce Unedited. But also so I can share it with all of you. But if there's any change for me this week compared to last week or yesterday, then that's going to be it. Is okay, we love them, we love what they're doing. Let's just support them and in our own little ways. Because like last year, George Live, it was their first year. They were in a large building. I don't remember the name of the building, but it was a large building. This year, it was at an arena, which wasn't full, but we went up in size because I'm sure they didn't even know how packed it was going to be. Next year, I'm pretty sure the numbers are going to go up by a third or double. Yeah, I meant to say by 60 or 70% or double because, yeah, we're just going to keep spreading the word and more people are going to see this community that we have, this sort of George Magazine community is just a community of the people. It's not meant to be left or right or anything like that. And that's why it's so important to what they're doing, is because they're working on getting rid of that whole polarized, like, oh, you think this way and you think this way, and you guys can never agree because you have to be opposites. That's not what we want. Even though that's how it's been, it was created that way to make us be doing that and to be distracted on what was right in front of us. So when we say good things are happening, that's one of the biggest things of all, is that people are doing less of this and more of talking and sharing their stories. And, oh, you think this totally opposite way than me, but this is why. Okay, maybe I still don't totally understand what you're saying or don't totally agree with what you're saying, but I can understand and we can kind of learn from each other. So I don't know, that was one of the kind of takeaways that I got from the experience last weekend was just what George Magazine is doing and what they've been set out to do from the beginning. And so in actuality, compared to what it was there for in the beginning with JFK Jr., not only is it rekindled now, but it has much more purpose than it did back then, just because of everything we've gone through and everything that happened over the last 20 years. So I think that's enough for this video. Oh, that was way longer than I planned to go. But that's why I got to keep the topic simple. So on that note, I think I'll wrap it up. And there are a few videos that I want to work on for all of you. So many videos, so little time. It's probably gonna be way more than 2 weeks of just sharing stuff from George Magazine Live. But it's gonna be fun. So look forward to it. There'll be something coming out every single day, like usual. I know you guys have been seeing the short clips of different things. Sometimes they're like from last week or whatever, but we're just gonna keep putting those out anyway, because it's just, if you don't have the time to watch a whole live video and hear all the different points, then, you know, those little short clips can give you little pieces of it. So I hope it's not too much, but you can always skip it if you don't want to watch it. So thanks as always. I will see you all again soon. I'm going to wrap it up there. Take care. Thank you, Irma. Shalena, welcome from Serbia. All right. Or Helena. Maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. It's probably one of those two. Thanks, Elaine. Jackie is back from Australia. Or you've been here, but let's see. What time is it there? It's like late night or early morning. That's probably early morning. All right. Thank you all for the prayers and support. As always, I will be back with you again soon. So until next time, take care and God bless.